Welcome to Fairy Tale Flip Story Time. My name is Vanessa Y. Rogers, and I host a podcast called Fabric of Folklore. And my co-host is Donnelly Fields from Doorways to Learning, and also Scaffolding Magic, where she provides resources for educators. And my podcast, Fabric of Folklore, is really about looking at the origins and the importance of folklore and unraveling those mysteries for myself and for others as well. So on Fairy Tale Flip, what we do together is we look at one fairy tale a month and we kind of flip it on its underside, we flip it on its back, and we kind of dissect it. We look at the culture, the writer, what was happening at the time, and we try and get a deeper understanding of what that fairy tale was. So this is the month of October, and in America, the most popular holiday in October is
Halloween.
Halloween. Are we excited about Halloween?
Yes!
And what date is Halloween?
Halloween is the 31st of October.
That's right, yeah. And so Halloween was originally brought over by Irish immigrants to the Americas, and 2,000 years ago in Ireland, it was Samhain, which was a celebration by the Celts, where they believed that the line between the living and the dead, the wall, if you will, between the living and the dead was the thinnest of the entire year. And so they celebrated. It was a magical celebration where they really celebrated their past loved ones and tried to connect. And so we are choosing 3 different fairy tales for you this month. Oh my goodness, silly girl. Leg still, please. You're being so distracting. We're choosing 3 stories for you this month, and I'm going to be reading one that is from Ireland. One that's from Ireland. It's a fairy story that happens on Halloween or All Hallows Eve.
And it's called it's called The Girl Who Danced with the Fairies.
The Girl Who Danced with the Fairies. Okay, this is a little bit distracting. I'm going to try and do this. Okay, there we go. Evelyn, put down, please. Oh, I forgot to introduce who are you?
My name is Declan Rogers, and I am 8 years old.
My name is Evelyn Diana Rogers, and I am 5 years old.
And they are going to be helping me tell the story today. And at the end, you can tell us what you think about it, okay? So this is called The Girl Who Danced with Fairies. One must never wander about alone on Halloween night, for that is when the fairies are about. They're looking for mortals for which to play tricks on. What do we say on Halloween?
Trick or treat.
That's right.
And the part in trick or treat is there just is that when you say trick,
you know what it means?
Well, yeah, it means
they can play a trick on you.
Yeah.
If they don't give you a treat, then you will play a trick on them.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And so fairies, back many years ago, it was believed that fairies were very mischievous, and they weren't someone that you wanted to seek out because they often did more harm to humans than they did good. So when we think about Tinkerbell, a lot of times when we think of fairies today, Disney has really portrayed them as these beautiful creatures that are loving and sweet and kind. But back in the days when Samhain, which is pronounced Samhain, but it looks like Samhain. It's a very strange pronunciation. Those Gaelic pronunciations. They knew that fairies were actually not to be trifled with. So people did not want to seek them out, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because they caused a lot of problems. Now, there was this beautiful girl, and she was thought to be the most beautiful girl in all of Ireland. And one late Halloween night, she went to the spring to fetch some water. However, when she was fetching the water, her foot slipped and she fell. And she got up, but when she got up, she noticed that nothing around her was what it was before. And she was in a very strange place. There was a great fire burning nearby. There were people dancing all about. People were dressed in these beautiful gowns and beautiful outfits and suits. And there was a handsome young man who looked like a prince. He had a red sash on. He had a golden band in his hair. And when he noticed her, he left the fire.
And he greeted her kindly and asked her to dance.
Yeah. And so, of course, she said yes. But first she said, there's no music. And so he moved his fingers about and the music began. And it was the most delicious music she'd ever heard.
Then, delicious?
Yeah, it's a funny phrase, huh? Then he took her by the fingers and he drew her into the dance. And around they whirled until the moon and the stars went down. And all the time, the girl seemed like she was floating in the air. She didn't even feel like she was dancing on the ground. She felt like she was floating in the air, and she forgot everything. She forgot who she was. She forgot where her home was. The only thing that she could recall was that sweet, beautiful music and the handsome prince. At last, the dancing ceased, and a door opened in the earth. And the young man, who seemed to be the king of all, led the girl down a pair of stairs, followed by all the happy party goers. And at the end of a long passage, they came to a hall bright and beautiful with gold and silver and lights. A table was covered with everything good to eat, and there was wine and probably juice, because kids aren't supposed to drink wine, right? And golden cups. And the young man lifted a cup and he offered it to the girl.
Golden goblets.
Golden goblets. And at the same time, when she was about to drink the goblet, someone whispered in her ear, "Do not drink. Do not eat. If you eat or you drink, you will never see your home again." So, when the girl heard that, she put the cup down and she refused to drink. Immediately, everybody in the room grew angry, and a great buzzing arose. The lights went out, and the girl felt something grasp her and rush her forth from the hall and up the stairs, and in a minute she found herself beside the spring, holding her pitcher in her hand where she was when she first fell. Right? So no longer were there fairies all about. There wasn't a beautiful hall. There weren't people around. She was just a normal girl fetching water. But she didn't wait to see if there were any fairies that followed her. So she ran as fast as she could to her home, and she locked herself tight into her room and crept into bed. And then, as she was hiding under her covers, she heard a great clamor of little voices outside her door. And she heard them say, "The power we had over you tonight is gone because you refused to drink. But wait until next Halloween night, when you dance with us on the hill. Then we shall keep you forever and ever." The end. Do you think she's going to go dance with him again?
No,
I don't think so. Hopefully she learned her lesson, right?
Yeah.
And so, once again, that was called The Girl Who Danced with the Fairies, and it's considered an Irish Halloween tale. So, like I said before, this is going to be one of 3 that you have the option to choose from, and the other 2 will be in our in the notes below, so you can choose one of these 3. Did you like this story?
Yeah!
What did you like about it?
I liked about it that the most
Beautiful girl?
no, the most beautiful music, like
Oh, you like the delicious music?
yeah,
Delicious music. You like that part?
yeah.
What about you?
Well, I liked that that it was a Halloween night.
You like Halloween, don't you?
I love Halloween
Yeah.
so much.
We're a household that loves Halloween. Okay. Okay. So thanks so much for listening to Fairy Tale Flip Story Time. And we would love to know what you thought of this story. Until next time, keep the fairy tales alive. Oh my goodness gracious. What am I going to do with these children?